Good morning, guys. Today I want to talk to you guys about the idea of how self-belief might be the greatest skill set that you can have as a person. I think it's single-handedly the most important skill you can have, and it will probably be your biggest determinant for success in your life, whatever you might define that as. I think we can look at a couple different examples to really showcase how self-belief means everything in this world. I like to think back at the time that I was told the story of the guy who was given the incorrect SAT score. To give you kind of a background, this guy basically wasn't great at school. He didn't do much in school. He didn't get great grades. He was like an average student. And then one day he took the SAT and didn't give two shits about it. And he ended up receiving the score of like a 1400, which is relatively good in comparison to most of the scores where the max is 1600. And so this guy now believes that he's inherently smart, and he ends up starting a business and being relatively successful. And then comes to find out a couple years later, after he's already achieved so much, after he completely changed his life, that he got a different SAT score. He got a 700, and basically exposed him for not being that smart. But the thing is that what that story tells you is he believed that he was smarter than he was, and he told himself a false narrative. But because he believed it to be true, he carried himself like that person would, how a smart person would, how because he's so smart he could start a business, because he's so smart he can be successful. And I think that story we can take in our everyday life, because a lot of times we're not like this guy. Instead, we're a lot more capable than we think. I feel like a lot of people deal with the opposite effect, but obviously you can be dealing with the same effect. But in essence, we sell ourselves short. I see this every day where I meet very intelligent people, because I'm in the world of software engineering, so I meet a lot of people that are way smarter than me. But the difference is between me and them is that most of the time I'm more confident or more willing to take a risk and talk to the people that I need that will help me land jobs, help me land opportunities. And that's where the difference lies a lot of the times. And it really sucks to see this, because I see that with myself as well, where I feel like I'm selling myself short. And we do that a lot in everyday life. But I was watching similar content to what I'm talking about right now, and the guy mentioned, I forgot his name, but he mentioned really good perspective of it's all idiots all the way up. And once you come to the realization that all of it is everyone else just figuring it out and no one really knows what the fuck is going on, is the sooner you realize that taking the chance and acting a fool is the way to move. It's the way to become successful, because we're all fools in this story, in this joke we call life. It's all a game. It's all a show. It's all fake. And I don't say that to really bring negativity to the world. It's just more, if anything, that's really positive, because once you realize that you can do whatever you want, whatever you set your mind to, you are the main character of your story, then it all becomes fake. It all becomes the facet of your imagination. And that's the big story here that we're getting to. And you ultimately have to let go of the idea that there's rules, that you're bound by these rules or society's rules and all that stuff. And I really love bringing up the idea of escaping the matrix, but not in the sense of this incel group or this right, left, whatever wing, whatever party you support. But escaping the matrix is not about being super successful and doing fuck all and smoking cigars and gambling nonstop. No. Escaping the matrix is once you realize that you're not bound by any rules. You're not bound by the social norms or any labels you have to learn from. The fire truck, the garbage truck coming up on me, unfortunately. But the whole idea is escaping the matrix means doing what you want and living the life that you actually want to live, and speaking the things that you truly believe and not worrying about the consequences. It's not to say that you should be a dickhead, but just believe in what you believe and carry your life that way. And that's really important, because once you start doing these things, you start realizing that being a narcissist and not in a negative way, but caring about what you care about, believing in what you believe in, and really living for that is the only way to live. Because at the end of the day, we're all insignificant. We're all going to be forgotten in a couple years. So it's important to live your life to the fullest and the way you want to live that life. And to some people that might seem very sad or very, I don't know, demoralizing, because it doesn't matter. But if anything, that's almost the beauty of life, that you can give it meaning. And that's the whole idea. That's how you escape the matrix. You give your life your own meaning. And that's a lot of things that people don't understand. I know a lot of people don't agree with Kanye in the media, but for example, I feel like he has a great idea when it comes to this, but I'm gonna steal his flow. But he basically talks about the idea of how when you're a little kid, you have this innocence in you where you believe whatever you want to believe and you live that belief. And let's take the example of a little kid getting on a coffee table. This is Kanye's quote. And he's wearing a superhero cape and he stands on the coffee table and he's believing that he is a superhero, and this is his belief. He truly feels like a superhero in that moment. And then what happens is that society, the adults around him, start telling him, oh, you can't be standing on that coffee table. Get off that coffee table. And so now he gets off the coffee table. And every time he sees a coffee table, he doesn't get on it. He knows that it's bad to get on, it's bad behavior. He's been reprimanded. And the thing is, I'm not talking about kids and coffee tables, because a lot of times you have a lot of coffee tables around you. A lot of people are starting to live these lives with all these coffee tables around them, worrying about social norms, social rules that don't bound to them. And that's the whole idea. How many coffee tables are you going to live around? How many more coffee tables are going to stop you from living your dream, from saying what you want to say, from being the person you want to be? And that's the ultimate truth of the life that you have to live. That's the idea. You have to come and accept that you've been living around coffee tables and you have to let that go as soon as possible. So yeah, I say that to say this. Believe in yourself, love yourself, and live the life you want to live. Because at the end of the day, no one's going to live for you. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day.